traded with video games, and one day you hear the story about this kid's worth $1.7 million or $17 million overnight.
Yeah.
That's a great success story.
But it's not real.
But it's very rare.
Yes. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, no, that was real.
Like us. Absolutely.
Well, but not for everybody.
Not for everybody.
Right, yeah.
If you got him back when it was like $100 a fucking.
Oh God, I have a fucking
buy
10 of them.
2,000. Year 2000.
Yeah,
100 of them.
I have a message from a friend of mine, Dylan, that told me about it. Like back in when was it? Like 2013 or some shit. And I was like, yeah, I'll check it out, man. I don't really understand. I don't understand. It's like digital money. I don't understand. And I never mess with it. But
but then you went YOLO.
They were like $125. You're like, I'll take 10 of them.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's worth what, $170K now?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that would have been really cool.
We really went. We just went hard on the Bitcoin. Well, I guess we've all been there.
We were all there.
Yeah,
Verge
we all had
fucked me.
We had
Fucking
some
Verge.
success.
Fucking Verge.
Last thing about cryptocurrency. I sold $12,000 worth of Verge because they kept fucking around, and I was following all this dumb Twitter shit. That's what you gotta get rid of all the noise.
There's a million.
I sold out of my Verge position.
Yeah.
If I'd have held it right at Christmas, I would have had fucking $450,000.
Yep.
But I sold out literally a week prior and bought fucking Digibyte. Well, that day though, I still made fucking $8,000. But it was eclipsed by the fact that I sold this shit off and didn't make $400,000.
Well,
talk about depression, dude.
Yeah.
Like
the thing
hits you hard.
Those swings are hard to look at.
And anyone that was online on videos telling you what to do, it was always fucking buy the dip, sell the top. Buy the dip, sell the. You can never fucking predict which one is which.
Yeah,
of course.
It sounds so simple.
So what you're trying to do is that you're trying to capitalize on each short sell and capitalize on each one of the fucking spikes. And then what you're really doing is that you're just removing yourself out of the original position that you were in, which is the best position in general, which you should have just fucking kept in.
Right.
And then that one day,
so many of those stories.
What do you think about
I had a million
what do you think about the Lira?
Oh
the
my
Libra?
God.
The what?
Is it the Lira or the Libra, the Facebook one?
Libra.
What do you guys think? What do you think about that?
Hi, my name is Chris, and I used to be a crypto addict.
Yeah.
And so I've been clean for a little over a year.
That's February for me. Yeah.
Congratulations.
I'm still holding some Nas, but that's the whole.
Yeah, you take all your Bitcoins, put them next to your Magic cards in your grandmother's basement. Hopefully they'll be worth a couple $100,000 in a little while. Put your kids through college with them.
The Beanie Babies.
Right?
There you go. Yeah.
My mom said that the other day to me,
shit.
like at dinner. She was like, Trey, I found this Magic card that you had that's worth like $17,000. I was like, Mom, shut up. I know people in this restaurant. I was like, did you put them down in Grandma's basement, down to my, like next to my Sega Genesis? No.
That's so great.
That's awesome.
Pretty funny.
Well, that was our cryptocurrency segment here on
Right.
Classic Bar.
Like everybody is perspiring a little bit for those people who can't watch it or just listen.
Yeah.
Like everybody's like all worked up. Like Evan's scratching his neck. He's like, I gotta check it. I gotta check my Coinbase. Oh, man.
Shit.
Zappies are going up.
But the Libra thing?
Yeah.
Not so much.
No,
I feel like Facebook has dealt with so many like security issues in the past fucking year.
Right.
It's like, so you have a currency that's going to be okay?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Well, they said that, of course, like all of them, Visa's going to back it, and all these things are going to back it.
That's what they all say.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because that was
XRP said the same thing.
Yeah.
Litecoin was supposed to be bought
World
by Facebook.
Banks.
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
gonna change the way that. No, it's not.
Yeah.
I got
Unfortunately.
Venmo. It's pretty quick.
Yeah.
Cost me 25 cents.
25
I think that was the
cents
big
for
ring. It was
immediate.
like Noel's like, hey, I can send it to you on Venmo. I was like, what's that? And he's like,
real?
And then so he sends me money. I'm like, oh fuck. All
Yeah.
right, whatever. Fuck
Yeah.
it. I guess.
Hey,
This is way easier to manage.
Yeah. Thanks, PayPal.
Trey, do you have?
Yeah.
PayPal obsolete. Though.
Yeah.
So LA is known for the rich and the famous and
Yes.
celebrities and movie stars, and that's where you go to be discovered and make it in the big screens and be on this. So have you met anybody that's cool?
Yeah, I mean, most of the celebrities that I've met are really cool.
Who have you met that isn't?
I don't know. I mean, how big is this thing going to be? Because I don't want to get blasted.
Okay.
So.
We're going to the moon.
Wait, let's go with this. Let's go with this. How have you met anyone that you thought that was going to be cool and they turned out to be an asshole?
Nick Swardson is kind of a kind of a sarcastic prick.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's a really famous dude, and he's a really funny guy, and he's an actor. He's a really talented dude. And I saw him not in his best moment, I'll say, but he was a very like
You guys know who that is?
Not strange.
Can you help me with this gallon of milk?
Right. He was the
Nick
dude
Swartzen.
on Reno 911 with the roller skates or the rollerblades.
Yeah.
And he's a really funny dude.
Right.
And he's been in a lot. I think he was in Grandma's Boy or something like that.
Yeah.
And he, I like I said, I didn't see him in his brightest moment.
Right, yeah.
So, he was kind of condescending, like kind of a prick.
Yeah,
But I know DMX pretty well.
Oh, wow.
He's we hang, and he's a good dude.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
I want some water with some lemon.
Yeah, he's a real one. Is
Yeah.
what they say. He goes to Saddle Ranch all the time.
Okay.
You know, I think we play pool, and he's just a regular down to earth guy.
Right.
You know, that is one of the most famous rappers, and
Definitely
wasn't a
iconic
bad
as fuck.
actor.
No, he was
what
great.
it, Belly?
Cradle to the grave.
Belly.
great.
Cradle to the Grave.
Yeah.
He had
Belly
that
was
one
great.
movie with what was it? The karate guy.
Jet Li.
Yeah.
Was it him? Didn't he also have one with the big tall white dude that does karate too? I can't think of his name.
Steven Seagal.
Steven Seagal.
Steve Seagal?
What is that thing that Queen does? Steven Seagal.
Yeah.
Steven Seagal.
So yeah, he's really he was like a real person. I mean, I taught Nick and Nate Diaz. I used to wait on all the time
UFC.
at Saddle Ranch, and they're good dudes. And then the Vanderpumps would come in and film, and
That's cool.
McLovin came into my restaurant, and he was like,
What's his real name?
I don't know. McLovin.
Is it Jonah something?
No, Jonah Hill's the other guy.
He's the kid in
That's so fucked. He's just known as that.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, McLovin.
no.
Yeah, so I mean, and he was. There are a lot of them are like very down to earth and very
That's
cool.
awesome.
You know what I mean? In that setting, because they're not like surrounded by people and
Right.
Christopher
Yeah,
Mintz Plasse or
I would've never
Place.
guessed
Wow.
Never guess
Never
that.
guessed that.
I mean,
Apologies for not pronouncing that correctly, Chris.
He sounds like somebody's going to shoot the president. Like the whole three-name thing.
Do you have any funny stories about anybody?
So
not in this room.
Diego, my friend Diego and I go to the Comedy Store, and Chris D'Elia and David Spade were going up that night. So the Comedy Store is where like a lot of people go who don't know the place. A lot of people, a lot of huge comedians will go there to practice
out there,
material.
Yeah.
Oh, right on.
So there's like 110 people capacity
Yeah.
in the main room or something like that, and they'll literally will have a notebook in front of them, and they'll test a joke and either exit or cross it out, and then when they do their hour Netflix, like you hear the same joke, but they test it in the Comedy Store.
Right.
It's like
perfected it.
Right.
Yeah.
Like Bill Murray was a regular there at Chevy Chase. It's like
It's the original.
it's the original
Yeah.
one.
Oh,
And I mean,
That's
this
cool.
place is ridiculous.
Right.
So, Chris D'Elia, who is amazing, and David Spade, who was great, go up. And my buddy Vinny's working. So I text him, and I'm like, hey, man, are you off? Like, let me buy you a drink. I appreciate, like, the hospitality, blah, blah, whatever you did. And he was like, did you leave? And I was like, no, I'm out front, because there's a bar that's on Sunset Boulevard. It's like open air, kind of, but it's still part of the Comedy Store.
Right.
So I was like, no, I'm out front having a drink. And he was like, come back right now. And I was like, what's going on? And he was like, Chappelle just went up. So when
this is the
Chris
Chappelle story.
so when Chris D'Elia when Chris D'Elia gets off stage,
Right.
60 of the 110 people that were in the main room get up and leave.
Oh,
But
wow.
I mean, they did.
They didn't know.
They don't know.
Yeah.
So Chappelle was hammered drunk, smoking cigs on stage, and I run back around and I see the door guy, and he was like, "You were in here," and I was like, "Yeah, we were in there, and we went to smoke," or I said something to him, and he was like, "All right, we'll be cool, no video, blah 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 blah," and Chappelle just walks right out up on stage, and there was about 40 or 50 of us, I would say, maybe less in the crowd, and he did about 2.5 hours.
Shut the fuck up.
Damn.
No material.
Just talking.
Just talking.
Chiefing cigarettes on the stage, talking to people in the crowd, and you're like, I'm 30 feet away from the guy.
That's
and I'm
unreal.
like,
That's
dude,
cool.
this guy
Yeah.
sells Madison Square Garden out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he's
And he's just walking on stage doing his own thing.
He was hammered drunk. He said he had just gotten off a flight from Britain. He had just come back from England. And
Yeah.
you're sitting there and you're 30 feet away listening to maybe the funniest guy on earth.
Yeah.
Just riff with a crowd for 2.5 hours.
Right.
Oh,
like, I was
That's
like,
cool.
I need a diaper. Like,
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
want to
yeah.
leave for 1 minute.
Yeah.
Right.
Awesome.
So those are like the kind of experiences that you get there that are like don't really happen many other places in the world.
Yeah, it's
Right.
very surreal.
Like, how can you like sit there and see Chappelle?
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think he told a joke.
He's just
Talking.
hanging out.
He's just
being
talking
himself.
and hanging out, but it's Dave Chappelle, and he's like his mannerisms are funny enough to make you laugh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was pretty special.
That's awesome.
And then I saw Endgame, and Rob Hall and I, of course, we saw every Marvel movie together.
Mm-hmm.
And Brent Moss and I went and saw Endgame. And we left a seat, in the middle for Rob, kind of.
Got it, yeah.
For those that didn't know, Rob passed away on August 30th, I think, of last year. And we had seen Endgame, and I go to work, and it's like 2:30 in the morning, and I'm getting off the 101 in Santa Monica because I live on Santa Monica, and this SUV pulls up next to me, and I look over, and it's Downey Jr., and I'm like,
shit.
It's Iron Man.
like that was that was probably the only time I've ever.
Wait,
right.
so you went,
I love you 3000.
I
went to see Endgame, and then you fucking turn to.
I turn and I see Robert
Fucking
Downey
Shut the
Jr. and we're the only two people on the road.
Oh, it's not.
It's like 2:30 in the morning. We're sitting at a stoplight, and I think
be.
I like put my nipple on the window or something. Like, I don't remember what I did, but it was
blacked
like,
out. Just
I mean, it was
Oh,
one
I
of
would
those.
be so starstruck if I saw
Starstruck,
Robert.
yeah.
like
Oh my
Mick
God.
Levin was cool, Chappelle was cool. Obviously
way
DMX, all those guys. But I
Right,
mean, when you
yeah.
see like.
fucking RD.
Iron
Fucking
Man.
A-lister.
I was like, that's
Fucking
Tony
Iron
Stark.
Man.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
give me a break.
Started
And,
with him.
Yeah, I really freaked out over that one. It was
Yeah.
pretty cool.
That is cool. Yeah.
But like I was saying, like when you live there, it's just it's a common occurrence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just,
So.
yeah, that's makes me want to go back. Seriously, man, between fucking New York and LA, the amount of experiences that you can have in such a short period of time, depending on who you're networking with, depending on who you're around,
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah,
especially being a part of like the industry, because that's just so much. You like now you're part of that fraternity,
Yeah.
So no matter where you are literally in the world. Instead of being, because we get those people like, oh, I'm a bartender. It's like, so what do you do? It's like, oh, I'm in the industry also. And they're like, oh, sick. Do you want to come here? Do you want to have this? Hey, let me
Right.
buy you this drink.
Yeah.
Let me introduce you to these people. And all of a sudden, you're in this inner working of a network that you never had before. Now you've
Yep.
got new friends, out in L.A. Fucking Dave Chappelle walks in.
Yeah, it's and I would have
Like that.
I swear to God, Diego and I were about to turn. We had one drink, and I think mine had like a quarter left in it.
Yeah.
We were about to walk back to Saddle Ranch, which is like maybe a block away, and I never would have known. But I met a guy in the bar industry who works there.
Yeah.
Right.
And he texted me and was like, "Come back." You know what I mean? Or
Right.
I would have missed the whole thing.
Right.
Right.
Those situations you would have never known about, but you make these friends in the industry,
Yeah.
and everybody in the industry kind of looks out for each other at the end of the
for
day,
sure.
Yeah.
which is really sick.
So
Nice.
when I was in, that's John, once again, bartender in New York. He's also a model and actor. When we were up there, this is along that same trip that I was just explaining a little bit earlier in the show. We ended up going to an after-hour spot after going out all night. It's like 5, 6 o'clock in the morning in some fucking place somewhere in Manhattan. And he looks up and he's like, oh shit. I'm like, what? And he's like, that's Corey Smith. I'm like, Corey Smith, where does that name sound familiar? Corey Smith was the Riddler on Gotham.
Okay,
TV show
yeah,
Gotham.
yeah.
They ran like 8, 9 seasons, like the whole 9. So the guy like walks up right by our table and he's like, yo, Corey Smith. The guy's like, oh, this, that, and other. They recognize each other. And we started talking. And now we're like vibing with the fucking stars of, of Gotham,
Yeah.
That's
Is this the red-haired kid who was on Shameless?
No.
I know
this
he
is-
played the Joker on that
Yeah.
show.
Yeah.
Okay,
Corey Smith is, he always wore glasses, skinny, very like...
He killed that. Crushed that. shit.
Murder.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
like he was
The show.
kind of the show,
Yeah.
really, which is so super awesome. So we're there hanging out with him, Chris
Yeah.
Pina, who was a writer for the show at the time, and now he's like moving. He's in LA, killing it on some. I don't know what he's doing right now, but I saw him post about something recently. But he's just absolutely killing it. But no, so going without going to say, like I didn't live in New York, but I was able to talk to actors and writers that are doing really well for themselves about the industry and the direction that I should go. So that for me was like just a really cool networking